Welcome to 5-Star Company Culture with your host, Josh Cunningham. In this podcast, we explore how culture is the key to unlocking massive profits and unprecedented freedom. Discover insights, strategies, and inspiring stories to transform your life and business. Here's your host, Josh Cunningham.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the 5-Star Company Culture Podcast. My name is Josh Cunningham. I'm your host and the founder and CEO here at 5-Star Company Culture. We're helping business owners and entrepreneurs realize more profits and freedom in their life by understanding the value and the importance of having that foundation of a 5-star company culture. So many people think that it's just a nice to have extra cherry on top thing. Hey, maybe when I'm not busy, I'll think about it, I'll focus on it. But to me, a 5-star company culture is the foundation of a successful business. It's going to help you attract and retain top quality talent. It's going to help you deliver exceptional customer service and customer experiences to drive more referral and repeat business. And then as a business owner and entrepreneur, it helps you get out of that daily grind and realize some more freedom in your life. Why do we get into business? Well, yeah, to make money, but what does money help us do? It helps us unlock freedom to enjoy time with our family, your friends, donate to charity, travel the world, whatever that means to you. That's what we're after here. So today I've got an incredible guest that very much aligns with our message. We've got Ryan Englin joining us from Nashville, Tennessee. How's it going, Ryan?
Oh, it's going great.
Good to hear, man. And Ryan is an expert in one of these many keys to success, which is talent acquisition, right? How many of you have ever had made a bad hire, right? You've made someone, brought them into your organization, they weren't a good fit. Maybe they even kind of stirred up a little bit of trouble, or maybe just were not as productive as you had wished. It's happened to all of us, right? Nobody's perfect.
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah. Nobody's perfect. We're all human. And, not only that, we all know what it's like to make a bad hire, but how many of you ever made an awesome hire that left your company, right? Maybe there was something lacking there. They weren't fulfilled. They weren't feeling satisfied in the work that they were doing. It's happened to all of us. Have no fear. We've all been there before. But Ryan helps and specializes with businesses to help them attract and retain top quality talent and actually, deploy some of these strategies, not just, fun ideas and fun things, nice to have, ideas, but actually tactical strategies to help businesses attract and retain, onboard, and promote their team so that those business owners can achieve some more freedom in their life. So Ryan, I'm going to let you tell your story. Take it away, man, and tell us how you got here and how you've been helping so many businesses do exactly that.
Yeah. So I grew up in an entrepreneurial blue collar family. My dad was an owner operator. And if you've ever started a company by yourself, I think a lot of us, I was one of them, got started a business. I was like, oh, I'm finally going to have control over my schedule. I'm not going to work 60-hour weeks. This is awesome. I'll have weekends to myself. And then we wake up one day and go, well, that was a lie. Like I messed that one up. Well, my dad did that the whole time I was growing up. And I watched just the amount of hours and blood, sweat, and tears he put into this business. And it never really grew bigger than him because he didn't know how to hire people. And that's really what it came down to. He didn't know how to attract them, didn't know how to hire them, didn't know how to keep them, just like you said. So I went the corporate route. I went to college, got a degree, went to corporate, learned a ton about process and systems and what makes big companies big. And then left that and said, that's it. I'm going to go start my own company serving home service companies, blue collar companies, just like I grew up in. So we work with field service companies, construction companies, anybody that hires a lot of front end talent. So call centers is a great example. People have lots of customer support reps, inside sales reps, high volume positions. We were serving them from a marketing perspective. And we kept hitting our head on this wall of why aren't these companies investing in more leads? Why aren't they investing in more marketing? Why aren't they growing as fast as we're generating new opportunities for them? And it was because they would always run up against, I don't have enough people to do the work. So a couple of years into that, this light bulb moment went off. I said, let's see if we can solve that problem. Coupled with what I knew about marketing and recruiting and interviewing and building operational teams, let me put all that together and see if I can teach small business owners how to do this. We worked with a couple of clients. And then a couple of weeks later, they're like, I don't know what you did, but we got all the people we need. Turn the leads back on. Like, let's get going.
Nice.
And for a while, I thought, oh, when they don't need lots of people. They need more business. I'll work that. And then when they need more people, I'll work that and I'll win on both sides. And that was just way too much. That was one of those things not to do, is be everything to everyone.
Yep.
And so I said, that's it. We're going to double down. We're going to focus on this process that we now call the core fit hiring system. And for a while we were implementing it for people. But what we realized was if they didn't know how to use it themselves, they still wouldn't grow.
Right.
So we then said, that's it. We're going to teach them how to implement it. We're going to coach them in their teams on how to troubleshoot, how to fix it, and how to deal with things. And we're essentially going to teach them to fish for the best people.
Nice.
And as much as we had this idea of we're just going to teach them how to recruit, what we realized was if we didn't solve the retention issue, the recruiting just became so much harder.
Right.
Most companies in this country do not have a recruiting problem. They don't have a hiring problem. They have a retention problem. I remember talking to somebody and he goes, no, it's all a hiring issue. I can't find good people. And I said, how many W-2s did you issue at the end of last year? And he's like 47. And I go, how many people do you have on your team? He goes, 11. I go, you don't have a recruiting issue.
Right.
You have a retention issue. Either that or you're making horrible decisions on the first date. One of the two things is happening.
Yep.
And so that's what we do now is we partner with these companies for a short period of time. We help them build the system. And because they're a part of building it with us, they're learning how to use it, how to troubleshoot it, how to make the most of it. And while so many people talk at the high level of company culture and you have to have ping pong tables and unlimited paid time off and lunch wagons and all this other stuff, there's not a lot of people teaching the small business owner how to actually do it. The boots on the ground, the tactics. What systems do I use? What software can help me do this? What does an email script look like? What's a text message look like? Like, what's my interview script? And that's our focus, is on the actual tactics of the whole thing. So when we say we build a process, it's not have a great company culture and sing Kumbaya. It's no, this is what we do. This is who we are. And this is how we live it.
Yeah, that's great. And, I love one of the points that you made as well before we hopped on the episode here is when people think about, you say the word company culture, or you think about hiring and training, the image that comes to your mind is the stereotypical like office environment, right? Hanging around the water cooler, like you said, bring in the ping pong tables, have the lunch wagon. But what you're dealing with is you're specializing in blue collar industries, right? These are construction workers. These are people that are out in the field, that are in a factory, on a factory line. So what are some of the unique challenges that you face, not working in the typical office environment versus being in the blue collar space?
I think the biggest thing is you just have to be so much more intentional. And intentionality is absolutely critical to what we do and making sure that this works, because it's really easy to get busy. I don't know if your listeners are like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just always planning my next vacation. They're probably running around crazy wearing 17 different hats. And it's really easy to forget about Jimmy, who just came on board 2 weeks ago, and what he needs from you as an employer.
Right.
And I think that what needs to happen in the blue collar space, especially, but pretty much all small businesses, is you have to realize that when you hire somebody, when you onboard someone new to your team, you did not just get a worker. You did not just get a new set of hands. You got a human being with hopes, goals, dreams, motivations, and drama and life events and yucky, sticky stuff that we don't want to talk about. You get the whole package. There's no way to separate that. And I think as small business owners, we forget that because we think everybody's cut like us. They're all entrepreneur minded. They're all going to sacrifice the way we would sacrifice.
Right.
So how dare them want to go home at 5:30 every day and spend time with their family when there's work to be done and customers to be taken care of?
Yep.
And I'm sure people listening like, yeah, you're wrong about me, Ryan. I do think that. I do. But do your people know you think like that?
Right.
Do your people know that you care about their personal situation? You don't have to get in the yucky with them and figure it out. Like, you don't have to get into what's really going on in their lives, but just recognizing that stuff happens.
Yep.
Life happens. As entrepreneurs, we're always focused on, well, what if that great person leaves? Like we were talking about, what if that great person leaves? What do we do? And we're so focused on smothering the great people, we forget about the good ones.
Right. Yep.
And then those good ones just constantly turn, and we're like, well, they weren't the right fit. That's what we say to ourselves. They weren't the right fit. It's their fault. They're the problem, not me.
Yeah. The
and
easy
that's
breakup
one of the
line
biggest
there.
challenges we have to overcome.
That reminds me a lot of one of my first clients I was working with years ago. She was one of the top producing real estate agents out in Utah, and she was building her real estate team and having a lot of these same struggles and frustrations. You know, you're talking about that entrepreneurial mind, that business owner hustle, that you're willing to do whatever it takes, right? Go to whatever ends to get stuff done. And here she was struggling to build her team and not understanding why they weren't capable of doing what it was that she did. Right. She's like, why can't I get them to do this? You know, I did that. If I had this opportunity, if I had these leads, if I had this, then I would do this. And I had to just tell her, pause, right? Let's reframe this. Look, are you not one of the top producing agents in the entire city of Utah? She's like, yes. I'm like, okay. So you've statistically proven that nobody else is able to measure up to your standards, right? There's literally a number associated with how productive and how much of a grinder and a hustler you are. So you just have to learn to accept that no, you're not just going to start hiring people and they're going to become another version of you. You have to understand that it's your responsibility to give them the framework, give them the training, give them the support, give them the love and the care that is going to help them get to the level that they need to be at. Because if they wanted to go out and do everything that you're capable of, then guess what? They're going to be one of your competitors. They're not going to be one of your teammates. So yeah, I love that story. I love that insight. What about maybe some other you got a couple tips in your bag that you're willing to give the audience here about, maybe it's attracting, maybe it's retaining. What are some of the tips that you're seeing that are really effective in today's hiring market?
I'll just go through a little bit of it. So one of the things I hear a lot is I can't find good people.
Yep.
Can't find good people. Well, let me tell you, stop looking for them and make it so they look for you. Right. Start attracting good people.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go looking where everybody else is looking. And when you go to Indeed, you and 4 million other employers are looking at the same small little group of people who are on Indeed.
Yep.
Like a meat market there. Like you don't want to be there. And you're not going to find good people because guess who actively looks for work? Like here's the reality. Looking for work sucks. It's stressful. People ghost each other. They lie to each other. They put on this facade and this mask and it's not real. And we all know it. And with that, people don't want to look for work. They want work to find them.
Exactly.
So who is actually going to put themselves in a situation that is, by the way, one of life's most stressful events? Like it's right on the same list as moving, as loss of a loved one, as health diagnosis. It's on the same list as looking for work every single year. So if it's that stressful, who's actually going to put themselves in that much stress? The people that either aren't good employees, they don't want to work. Like it's not the best people. The rock stars aren't going to do it. They don't need to. So if you're not attracting good people, this might be hard for some people to hear, but if you're not attracting good people, if you don't have people coming to you and saying, I've heard great things, I want to be on your team. If you don't have that happen, then it might be that you're not attractive to good people. You need to just sit with that reality for a minute. Yeah. Maybe when they do find you, which is one of the biggest challenges small business owners have, is that people don't know that they're hiring. People don't know that they exist. Only 3% of the job market's on Indeed. So if you're putting your job ads on Indeed and hoping that that's what you're going to get, that's only 3% of your market. The other 97% is somewhere else. And so when people find you, they aren't calling you and saying, hey, I want to be a part of this. They might not like what they see. You have bad Yelp reviews. I get this all the time. What does Yelp have to do with recruiting? Oh my gosh. If your customers don't like you, what's that job seeker thinking? That must not be a good place to work. So really look at your employer brand and really make sure, am I attractive to the people? And this is important too, that I want to attract. If you're attracting the wrong people and you're hiring because that's all you think that's out there, maybe you need to shift a little. Right. Yeah. And so that's one of the high level things to think of. And I want you to think about it as like marketing. Most of the people real estate agents, that's what they're marketers, right? Like that's what they are. They're marketers, getting their name out there, getting their persona out there, creating a brand for themselves. That's what they do. Think about that, but shift the messaging towards a job seeker. Right? If you need an assistant or you want to recruit other agents or you want to grow a team or something like that, think about taking the same tactics you're doing the social media and the review sites and all that, but shift the messaging towards recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the probably the easiest things that they can do to start attracting better people.
Yeah. One of the other points you made talking about the whole hiring and job interviewing process is, I always share with business owners that whenever you do interview someone, they're always going to show you the best version of themselves, right? Nobody shows up to the job interview to not show you or pretend like they're capable of doing the job. So one of the keys to our success here at Rockerbox, and we've hired over 400 inside sales assistants over the last 10 years, is one of the steps in our interview process we call it an observation. Some people call it a shadow day or whatever that might be. But after we've had the interview of them, right, where they showed us the best version of themselves, we tell them, okay, the next step is for you to interview us. And so we bring them into the office, we pair them up with one of our most senior reps, and we have them get a full tour of the operations and get a really good understanding of what a day in the life would look like. And that way they have a very clear knowledge of what the standards are, what our values are, the work that we do, what will be expected of them. And then we tell them, hey, ball's in your court, send us an email, let us know what you think. Because again, if you just go based off of someone sitting in front of you, doing an interview, showing the fake version of themselves, and you think, oh, this person's gonna be great, they're gonna last here forever. And then you hire them and you bring them on and they actually realize, oh, wait, there's some work involved. There's really high standards for performance here. Maybe I don't really like this. That's like you said, the guy who had 47 W-2s, but he's only got 11 people on board. There's probably some disconnection in that. There's probably some lack of understanding of what was going to be expected of them and what a day in the life of looks like. So I highly recommend that to each and every one of you listening. If you have don't have something like that where people are getting a taste of not only what you do, but who you are and why you do what you do. People want to align with a company that matches their beliefs, that matches their values. So yeah, that's a really great point there. Well, Ryan, it's been a pleasure getting to chat with you today, and I really appreciate you sharing some insights with our listeners here. I understand you have some more tools, some more free training that you want to offer everybody here that's listening today. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I've got a big vision for what we do here, and we want to impact 500,000 employees by creating positive work environments. And one of the best ways to do that is to educate the people that want to make these little shifts or these little tweaks. And so we have a ton of training content, but one of the things that we've done for your listeners is we put together a special page where they can go and they can get 3 things from us. Number 1 is what we call our recruiting roadblocks scorecard. It's a 14-question survey, takes about 2 minutes, and it's going to develop a customized report for you that gives you just a couple of tips on how to improve in each of the 7 areas that is our model. The other thing we have is a 10-minute masterclass that introduces you to some new tools that you can use. We have 5 power tools in our system, so you can learn about those 5 power tools and how to implement them in your business. And then finally, the last thing is I have a book coming out in October 2023. And so if you're hearing it, it's after that. You can get the book anywhere books are sold. But we're giving away the first 2 chapters of the book, which is really the critical foundation part of implementing our system into your business. And they can get that by going to our website, which is corematters.com/5-star company culture. And that's all one word, no spaces, no hyphens, 5-star company culture. And hopefully you guys can put it in the show notes in case they are behind their windshield, which I know so many of my listeners are behind their windshield when they listen to podcasts. So go ahead and check out that free resource and those downloads.
Certainly. Well, we really appreciate you extending that gift to our audience here. And thank you again for your time, man. I know you're a busy guy and you've got like you said, you're on a mission to help 500,000 people. So that's very admirable. So thanks again. Congratulations, Ryan, on your success. And it's great having people like you out in the world, making people's lives better and making people's job satisfaction increase as well. So any last thoughts or ideas for our audience before we let them go?
No, I mean, we could talk about this for hours, all the little different tips and tactics. But I will just say, take a moment and walk in your candidate's shoes. Like take a step away from being the decision maker, the entrepreneur, the business owner, walk in the shoes of a job seeker for a moment. Take a look at your brand, take a look at your process, and see if it's a company you'd want to go work for.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks again, Ryan. To our listeners, thanks as always for listening. We'll have some more amazing guests with more insights on how to establish a 5-star company culture, attract and retain those top quality talent, deliver exceptional customer experiences, and unlock some profits and freedom in your life as a business owner. We didn't get into this to just be slaves of our business and grinding it out, 80, 90 hours a week. So thanks again for listening. We'll catch you next time. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to 5-Star Company Culture with Josh Cunningham. Embrace these lessons to elevate your business and join the ranks of thriving organizations. Stay tuned for more episodes. And until next time, remember, culture is the key to your success.